Some of us are live, some of us are Memorex.
We're live.
Yeah, Memorex, there's a dated reference. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Unity of Kent in the building and out there in virtual land.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity.
We're ready.
Yeah,
We're live.
We're going to introduce
We're happening.
our delightful
I can't
pastor,
see, I took off my glasses.
the Reverend Patty Becker.
And now, Patty Becker.
Well, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Kent on this fine, fine Mother's Day, May 14th, 2023. Today we have some out-of-control musicians, Linda, Matt, and Becky, and they will start us off with a rousing opening song.
We've lost
Singing
control.
Join us and sing One Big Family, if you know it. Here we go.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Great, thank you. Oh, good morning. Well, welcome. My name is Reverend Patty Becker, and I am just delighted to be here this Sunday morning, this Mother's Day. I'm joined by our worship assistant, Lee O'Neill. And you know, this is just going to be a fun service. It's just going to be one of those days where we're going to hang loose, listen to music, laugh a little, make it up as we go along. So I hope you enjoy it. Unity of Kent is a welcoming congregation. We invite people of all races, creeds, colors, lifestyles, who are serious about spiritual growth and development, to be here with us this morning, and to try out a way of living that is positive and dynamic, a way of living that accentuates all that we can be and leans into the highest and best that life has to offer, the highest and best with which we engage with life. Our teachings are based on those of Jesus as well as New Thought principles. And we believe in each person's spiritual authority, that ultimately you make decisions about your spiritual life. And we are here as community to support one another, to encourage one another, and to celebrate one another. So as our esteemed musicians began our service with song, I'd like to do that with prayer right now. So I invite you to just settle back into what feels like a comfortable posture for yourself, knowing that the chair is totally capable of supporting you, so we can take a deep breath and relax, and to let all of those body parts that we have just mellow out. And as we breathe, we become more and more centered, more and more open to the experience of being together this morning, to the movement of spirit, to the energy of each other. There's one presence and one power that's active in the universe. One presence, one power. Not only in the universe, but all that is in the universe, active in my life, in your life, active in every moment. This presence and power, known by many names, is absolute good. That means that there's no opposite power. There's no evil power. There is nothing that conflicts with absolute good. And that the nature of this beingness is our very nature as well. So at our core, at our deepest level, we are also good. And strive through our growth and development to bring more and more of that goodness into manifestation. Through all that we see, all that we do, all that we participate in, all that we believe, feel, and all that we are. So sit back and enjoy the energy of becoming more. Let all that is here offered to you today wash over you as a wave of warmth and contentment. And may its trailings be inspirational. And so it is. Amen.
In the spirit of the energy of becoming more, I love that. This is a song called God in Everything. It's by Jack Fowler. If you know it, sing. It's easy to learn though, so as you are seated or stand as you are able and wish to, let's sing this song together. It's the same each time. We'll do it 3 times. The first time is I see, the next time is I feel, and the next 3rd time is I know. But be comfortable. As Patty said, if you want to sit back, you guys can do that. Sometimes it's nice to stand and get that air flowing. More aliveness. God in everything. Here we go.
I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see the beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything.
Awesome. Let's do this next one is I feel all those same things. Here we go.
I feel joy, I feel peace, I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I feel God in everything. I feel happiness, happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything.
All right, we're gonna know. We're gonna take it up a little bit. Here we go.
There we go. I know joy, I know peace, I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God in everything. I know happiness, I know freedom. I know the beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God in everything. I know God in everything.
Wonderful. Excellent singing, guys.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Kent. And I see the joy in all of you and the peace and the freedom, and thank you for being here today. And thank you for those that are on Zoom for being here today. My name is Lee, I'm the worship assistant. So let's start with our statement of faith. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. I trust and align with that power of goodness now. So for those of you in the sanctuary, there's a slip of paper in your bulletin if you'd like to fill that out with your prayer requests, and we'll be collecting those later. For those of you on Zoom, we'll ask you to unmute if you have a prayer you'd like to share. So Spirit Talk this Wednesday on Zoom at 10 a.m. with Reverend Patty. And that's it for the announcements today. However, stay tuned later for a Reader's Theater Happy Mother's Day surprise. And the virtue today is free. To be free is to realize and exercise liberty. One who is free is not restricted by limitations. Freedom is a state of absolute self-determination and choice. When we are free, we are able to act upon our own will. If you'll say the affirmations with me. I am free. I live in a world of unlimited possibility. I am free to choose my own experience. I act on my own will. And the daily word today, of course, blessing mothers. I bless all mothers with thoughts of gratitude. There's nothing quite like a mother's love, so nurturing, caring, and warm. Today I bless the women in my life who express this love in all they do, whether it's the mother who raised me or any other woman I know who so generously shared a mother's love. I have felt the care of God through their tender touch and encouraging words. Over the years, I have grown strong and confident under their kind direction and have relied upon their wisdom. The divine feminine flourishes on earth in the loving words and caring hands of mothers and all those who share a mother's love. I bless them, and I pray they know the love of God as they have shared it so generously with me. Then the mother of the child said, "As the Lord lives, and as you yourself live, I will not leave without you." 2 Kings 4:30. So now if you have your prayers ready, Barbara would like to pick them up. And for those of you on Zoom, if you'd like to unmute and share your prayer.
And so we bless our prayers. You know, those prayers unwritten or unspoken, we all have prayers. We all have desires in our life. And so we hold all of those unspoken, unwritten desires along with these prayers in our prayer box. Now, we pray with these prayers for 30 days, and then we send them to Silent Unity where they receive 30 more days of prayer. So they get lots and lots of attention. And so we raise our hands, rubbing them together first, raising them, directing that energy to the prayer box. And again, I go to our faith statement that there is one presence and one power active in the universe, active in our lives and the lives of our loved ones. One presence and power active within every situation and circumstance. This presence and power is our source of inspiration and energy. It allows us to move our minds and hearts to solutions and attention so that we may be mindful of what is ours to do and what is not ours to do. We open our lives for this inspiration to flow, and we heed the intuition that comes through our wisdom that gives us direction, knowing that that direction comes from our divine nature and is reliable. And so we do rely on it, and we grow it by giving it heed and following its lead. And so it is. Amen.
Excuse me, now it's time for handshakes and hugs.
Back through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave to us, and how my mama put those rags to use. There were rags of many colors, and every piece was small. And I didn't have a coat, and it was way down in the fall. Mama sewed the rags together, sewing every piece with love. She made my coat of many colors that I was so proud of. As she sewed, she told the story from the Bible she had read about a coat of many colors Joseph wore. And then she said, perhaps this coat will bring you good luck and happiness. dress, and I couldn't wait to wear it. And Mama blessed it with a kiss. My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made from only rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although we had no money, oh, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors my mama made for me. So with patches on my breeches and holes in both my shoes, in my coat of many colors, I hurried off to school just to find the others laughing, making fun of me in my coat of many colors my mama made for me. And oh, I couldn't understand it, for I felt I was rich. And I told them of the love my mama sewed in every stitch. And I told them all the story Mama told me while she sewed, and how my coat of many colors was worth more than all their clothes. They didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they choose to be. Now I know we have no money, but I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors my mama made for me, made just for me.
Oh, thank you. That's a Roadhouse song, kind of. Yeah, yeah, great. Well, good morning again. I have just a few things to share with you before I get into the rest of the service, and that is, although an email went out regarding Four Agreements class that would normally be today at 11:30, it is canceled. So for those of you who are on Zoom who may have thought about coming in, there will not be class today since we have Mother's Day activities. So it will start up again next Sunday, and there's 2 more classes left. So it'll be next Sunday and the Sunday after, the last 2 Sundays of May. And then there is, I wanted to share a little bit of feedback from our prosperity meeting, our prosperity consciousness, our Keeping Connected meeting a few weeks ago. Just to let you know that we are stepping up in faith, that there's been an increase in tithing, which I am grateful for personally and on behalf of the whole community. And there have been other acts of generosity that have come our way to help mitigate some of our needs. So this is not a one-time condition. This is an ongoing reality of our church that we are called to as we continue to meet and to be together as a community. All of us are invited, required, have a responsibility, however you want to say that or feel that, to contribute to the community so that we can continue to inspire, to be engaged with our ministry, with one another, as well as the larger community of Kent. So, good news, good news. I was looking through my Mother's Day material, and I found something that I presented, several years ago, and our congregation was a little bit different. But some of you might remember these, but they're kind of groaners, if you want. One-liners about mothers and Mother's Day. Feel free to spread them around and to share them with friends and family as I finish sharing them with you. So here we go. This is a question and answer kind of period. Why is a computer so smart? It listens to its motherboard. That would be the groaning part. What did the mother rope say to her child? Don't be naughty. Oh, you're doing your groaning very well. I like that. Yeah. Come on, let's all get together in this groaning part. What did the digital clock say to its mother? Look, Ma, no hands. What do you call a mom who can't draw? Tracy. Why did the mommy cat want to go bowling on Mother's Day? She was an alley cat. What did the mother broom say to the baby broom? It's time to go to sleep. Oh, good, I got one actual laugh and not a groan. Isn't that nice? Why is Mother's Day before Father's Day?
They're more important.
So the kids can spend all their Christmas money on Mom. That one's very practical. What do you call a small mother? A minimum. How did the panda open her Mother's Day card? With her bare hands. What did the mother tomato say to the baby tomato? Ketchup. You know, I have a story about that. You knew I would, right? Okay, so I must have been 3 or 4, maybe 5. And my mom and I were down in downtown Seattle, and we were shopping. And so my mom was rushing, and I was trying to keep up with her. Okay, so I had this wonderful, wonderful grandmother who was Slavic, and when I was small would teach me some Slavic words, not real sentences, but words for things, and I really like that. Milk was mliko. I think the sign of the cross, I learned the sign of the cross. It was Božo daj do noc storičko rana estanec. And one of the things that she taught me was how to say slow down or stop. And it was čekaj. And so my mom and I were rushing around the store, and she was talking to clerks, and I was just trying to keep up. And suddenly I just stopped and I yelled out, čekaj! And she stopped. But that's one of my few memories of using Slavic on my parents. So it was great. What did the mama horse say to the foal? It's past your bedtime. Yeah, it's past your bedtime. You know, Matt, I would expect that you would be getting all of these. Okay.
That's my face.
Why don't mothers wear watches? There's a clock on the stove. Oh, yeah. This reminds me of another story. Yesterday, I was coming back from the dump, actually. I had gone to the recycle, dropping off your yard waste. Okay, so I was in my truck. It's a big truck. It's about the color of Lee's shirt that you're going to see again. Anyway, so I had gone and I was on my way back, stopped at a stoplight, and there was a couple in a very snazzy red, shiny red car beside me. My windows were down, their windows were down, and the driver was the man. And he said, girls aren't supposed to drive trucks. And I said, well, I do. And so I was very firm in that. And had I been thinking more, I think about things later that were better. So I did think about a better way to say that. He said, girls don't drive trucks. I'll say, women do drive trucks. Yes, women do. Okay, last one. What kind of candy do moms love for Mother's Day? Canned Hershey's Kisses. Hershey's Kisses. So those were things that I really enjoyed, and coming around the second time. Okay, yeah, all right. So I will. I thought there was going to be a ruckus. And so now we have something else happening here.
Mom,
What?
Mom,
What?
Mom,
Huh?
Mom, we
What?
can explain. Mom, we can explain.
Explain what?
We can explain.
What? What happened to you guys?
Chill, Sam. Mom, look, Mom, sweet, understanding Mom. Uh-huh. Right, okay. I see that twitch in your eye. Maybe you better sit down. Okay, maybe not. Maybe you should stand up. Anyway, I bet you're wondering why the fire truck's here. Such a funny story,
Yes,
though.
yes, I am wondering why the fire.
We had to call them on account of the fire. It was
What?
so big. We thought we were going to die, and
What Sam means to say, Mom, okay, it's that there was this little teensy-weensy bit of smoke, and we know that you always tell us that to err on the side of caution and be responsible, right? I mean, we called an emergency number just like you taught us, and really good advice, Mom. Good advice.
right, good advice. And we wouldn't even had to call the fire if it weren't for the lighting candles to get rid of the smell from the skunk in the first place.
Oh, right, the skunk. What was...
What was that for?
Okay, all right. So you're probably wondering why there was a skunk in the house in the first place. And it's an excellent question, Sam.
Well, the skunk got in after we left the door open to dry the carpet.
What?
Because you always said, Mom, that we shouldn't let a mess linger. So we should clean up after ourselves. Really smart, Mom. Mom, really smart.
So after we dumped the paint bucket, we knew we should do our best to clean it out of the carpet with a water hose, and then it had to dry, but the skunk got in and sprayed, and we were trying to get rid of the smell with the candles.
As Sam so conveniently pointed out, we had to clean up the paint, okay, so before it dried, right? And so, which I'm sure leads you to wondering about the paint. But before you ask, it was totally innocent, totally. You taught us to do acts of service for others, right? So wise, Mom. And since you've been saying how much you wanted to repaint the kitchen, we thought we'd do it for you on Mother's Day. Surprise!
Since we needed to fix the hole in the wall anyway. Stop that.
What
Oh,
Sam
Mom.
is saying is that we had a small mishap while we were resolving a dispute, right? You always say it's so important for our family to work out problems before we go to bed angry. So you said such a good example for us, Mom.
Oh yeah, we resolved it. All right. When Joe pushed me and my elbow went through the wall. Stop that.
We worked it out, though. I mean, just like you would want us to. We worked it out together to hide it. I mean, paint the wall for you. Right, Sam?
Right, exactly. It probably wouldn't have been such a big fight anyway if we weren't so worried about who was going to get in trouble for the dent in the car.
Oh, brother. What I'm sure Sam meant to say is that there's a minor fender bender with our bikes in your car, but just a tiny scratch, just a tiny one. So really, we meant well. You see, we were going to make you a cake for Mother's Day, and we realized we didn't have any eggs.
Yes, and so Joe and I took our bikes to the store to get eggs. We were just trying to problem solve like you taught us.
Just like you taught us to do.
It was just when we got back to the driveway, Joe was doing that trick where she doesn't hold on to the handlebars, and it didn't work.
Sam dared me.
Did not.
Did too.
Did not.
Did too.
Did. Right, Mom. So anyway, the eggs didn't make it back in the one place. They were on Joe's bike. Sorry about that. But it wouldn't mattered anyway, because when we got back, we realized we didn't have enough flour to bake the cake. On the incident with the mixer, flour went everywhere. It was like a white tornado.
Oh, well, we could barely breathe, too. Oh, what Sam means to say is we were trying so hard to make you an awesome cake, Mom. Unfortunately, we weren't sure how to use the mixer exactly, but we stuck to it, and we tried something new, just like you told us to.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Try something new, you always say.
Yeah. So, well, in conclusion, you can see that it's kind of your fault the fire truck is here.
What?
After all, you taught us to be responsible, clean up after ourselves, and try new things.
Problem solve, not go to bed angry, and do acts of service. You are so wise, Mom.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, to have such children. Wow. Has anyone of you ever gone through something like that? One thing, it's a real life story, huh? Well, being both a mother and a grandmother, what I really enjoy, and I was talking about this earlier with Linda, that I really enjoy those two roles. Glad that the mothering part is kind of behind me now, at least that younger age, although they were pretty fun. But I'm enjoying such a bond with my grandchildren, and I was told one time that the reason that grandchildren and grandparents have such a tight bond is because they have a common enemy. Well, thank you for this skit. For the last couple of days, I've been working in my garden. I've been building a flower box, and it was about 8 feet long, perhaps maybe 4 feet wide, and it had gotten totally entangled with, well, for one thing, lack of care, and then just things growing and seeding, and it was just a mass, a jungle of, I don't even know what kind of flowers were in there. Some of them weren't blooming yet. Some of them were, but that's all, it went. So I was cleaning out the flower box and starting at one end and then just working my way to the other. I was using a Maddox, and if you know what that is, it's not an axe, but it's kind of a pick and an axe together. Yeah, Mad Axe. Oh, that works. So I would loosen the dirt, pull out the weeds, loosen the dirt, and go forward. And finally, I was near the end, and I pulled out a chunk of tangled vegetation and revealed a bird nest. And I thought, oh, how cute. And then as I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, I should take this out and really preserve it. And but before I did that, I noticed that there was some fuzzy things in the nest. And there was about 3 or 4 little tiny birds, and they were just getting their down. And prior to this, I had noticed while I was working that there was a little bird just flying around me, and it was getting close. And it was a junco. I found out later that the kind of bird was a junco. And so this flower box is under a trellis and it has vines hanging down. And so the bird was just flitting and flitting and flitting and being very uncharacteristically close to me. And I thought that, I was delighted and naive until I found the bird nest. And so there was an immediate change that happened in me, besides just things clicking into place, and realizing that this brave little junco was keeping me company and trying to divert me from the nest. But what happened in me is, one, I was just so thankful that that the Maddox hadn't been on the nest, and that it was, so it was intact, that I could push that piece of sod forward and kind of shield it. But for me, I felt very protected then. I felt this softening in my heart, this, what you did, oh, about little tiny birds and their down. And I would, there was a bird feeder above where they were, hanging from the trellis, and it was empty. So I went in and filled it up, found some seeds so that the parents could have some food while they were foraging for their little babies. But this whole maternal thing happened within me. And I was wondering if maybe my presence that close would deter the parents, and but so I kept watching, I kept checking to make sure they were there. And they make this sweet little noise, like, you know, beep, beep, beep. And so I'd go out and there would be the boop, boop. So I knew that they were coming in and out. And that's what happens in a mother's heart a lot of times, most of the time. There are certain circumstances and situations in which that's not true. Mothers or women give birth and then subsequently learn how to be mothers. I'm finding that same situation with grandmothering. I was a mother, and then now I'm finding my way as a grandmother, which is a very different role. Those maternal feelings, those impulses that rise up within us of wanting to be protective, of wanting to be nurturing, of being vigilant, of being supportive, of being encouraging, of being soft and open, of being strong, of being determined, of encouragement. Those are the kinds of things, those are the kinds of characteristics that are attributed to the divine feminine. The divine feminine, I found in my interfaith experience, exists all across religions, that there is a feminine counterpart to each male deity. And it's true in paganism, it's true in Catholicism and Judaism, it's true, especially true in Hinduism, and many others, that there seems to be a need or a desire for a feminine counterpart to the male energy. And that feminine counterpart, without exception, has those same qualities that I spoke of the nurturance, protection, the supporting, the lovingness, all of those things. Whether we give birth as women or not, whether we have those feelings towards children or others, or that are not our own, that is the impulse and the rising up of the mothering instinct, the divine feminine in each of us, men and women. It's not, although these traits or qualities have been assigned to the divine feminine, to divinity, in God there is no gender. God is genderless. The only gender that is ascribed to God comes from us and our need to kind of define, to be able to relate to an energy, to a power and a presence of the universe that both lives outside and as us. It has to have some avenues of relatability, it seems. And so we overlay human characteristics on our gods and goddesses, somehow making them more relatable and more real to us, more powerful to us. In truth, according to our belief regarding deity, regarding beingness, regarding this presence and power, it does not make decisions. It is not just. It cannot be just because it cannot pass judgment. It's a principle. It can only be itself, which is an unfolding life, love, energy. That's the only thing it can do, and that's the only thing it can be. So when we speak to our children or one another about wrongdoing and that God's justice will reign, and that can't happen because there's not an entity, there's not a person that can act outside of itself to punish or to reward. We receive blessing and we experience hardship by being out of alignment with the principles and the laws of the universe. That's where our suffering comes from our own decisions and our own stage of consciousness at a particular time. When our consciousness changes, our experience changes. When we are doing good deeds, it's not a God that rewards us. When we do good deeds or in service to one another, we are experiencing the return, the like return of the universe. It's not a reward, but it is a return. That what we give out, we get back. On this Mother's Day, I like thinking of that. However, I like thinking of the aspect of the feminine in a universal sense. In actuality, though, it is these qualities are in all of us in varying degrees according to how awake we are and how we engage with them. My mother is no longer with me, and I'm thinking of her today. I'm thinking of my grandmother. I'm thinking of my grandchildren. I'm thinking of the ties of families that we have. And I'm thinking how very privileged I am to have had these experiences in my life of not only having my own children, but having the opportunity to nurture others. Especially in this profession that I've chosen. I have an opportunity to express my mothering on behalf of a community. And I thank you for that. And that's a very important part of my experience here as your minister, as your cheerleader, as your encourager, as your nurturer, as your admirer, as your appreciator, as your encourager. And because the universe neither punishes nor rewards, it does seek balance. It seeks balance. It seeks harmony. And so I am grateful that my role in the universe and that your role in the universe, all of us together, men, women, are the balancers by the choices we make and how we choose to be active with one another. The balancers that give rise to pleasure, give rise to fulfillment, gives rise to well-being. And may we all experience that today. Whether our mothers were nurturers or not, we can be, and we are. And so let's just spend a few moments in meditation now. And so closing our eyes and just taking a breath into this void, this very pregnant void behind our eyelids, this space, this infinite field of possibility. Without the distraction of our senses, of being focused on the outside, we can truly turn our attention inside to what wants to be born, what wants to be nurtured, what wants to be called forth. And sometimes what it is, it's a dream. You know, it's a dream that wants to be called forth. It's a desire that wants to be encouraged. It's a way of life that wants to be nourished. It's an awareness that wants to grow and develop and bless and provide the information to lead us to better and better choices in our lives. Better and better choices leads us to more enlightened and joyful outcomes. And so as you've turned your attention within, just be mindful of your heart space. This heart space is the location of our spiritual faculty of love. And we speak of mother love. And so in your imagination, go to your heart and feel its presence in your body. Feel the presence of your heart in your body as occupying space. It may or may not have sensation that you are aware of in this moment, but it does occupy space. And perhaps you might get in touch with that space. Two common word associations with mother is love, and with love is mother. And so as you are mindful of your heart space, feel love arising. And if you're having trouble feeling what love feels like, I'd like you to remember or think of a person that you deeply love. Someone in your life that was everything to you, or is everything to you, who makes you smile and be at peace and encourages. And as you think of that person, really get a clear image in your mind. See this person before you. Every detail of this person's face. See this one who loves you so much and who you love so, so very much. And now feel what being in the presence of this loved one feels like in your body. As a body sensation, your loving this person is very palpable. And so get in touch with that feeling right now. And as you engage with this feeling, then turn it. Slowly let it move from the face of your loved one to your own life, to your own body, and to let that feeling in regard to yourself grow and enfold you for the next few moments in silence. As expressions of God, loving and being loved beyond measure is our birthright. That the energy of love is healing, expanding, soothing, and freeing. As you experience love for yourself, let it be for you a buoyancy that carries you joyfully through the stream of your life. To love and to be loved beyond measure. I accept. I accept this love. I accept. And so it is. Amen.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares to you, and these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and then I'll think about them. In my life, I love you more. this affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
Oh, thank you. I haven't heard that song in a while. That's wonderful. Thank you. All right. Well, we have some hospitality downstairs after the service, and so we've come to the end of our experience here in the sanctuary, and so now is the time for our offering. We give our offering. What? Did you say something? No. Okay. Whoops. As part of a practice, some new prosperity practices, and in the coming weeks, we'll be sharing some more of those. But we are doing adding into our offertory time a prosperity affirmation, and it's in your bulletin. And it's living your life knowing you have plenty changes everything. Living your life knowing you have plenty changes everything. And so I would ask you to say that with me. Living your life knowing you have plenty changes everything. And so let's change the you to me and my. Living my life knowing I have plenty changes everything. And then our offertory blessing with our offerings in our hand. Divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And Guy will come around now and collect the offerings. Okay. All right, and so once again, would you hold the basket up? Once again, we direct our energy towards our offerings. And we are so grateful to be in the flow of abundance and prosperity, that we bless these offerings, symbols of our faith in an all-providing universe. And as these offerings bless our own community, meeting the responsibilities, the financial responsibilities that we have, a tithe portion goes forth from every offering into our community to support the good works of service. We are so grateful to be in this cycle of abundance and love, and so it is. Amen. All right, well, we're ready to do our circling. So we're going to circle. And so it's a little bit of a special Mother's Day hospitality tonight. So I hope you go downstairs. Okay, so our peace song.
With God as creator.
And our prayer of protection, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light that is God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love that is God. The power of God protects us. I am the power that is God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence that is God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Have a fabulous week. Enjoy your Mother's Day. Take advantage of the weather and be outside. I think we'll have a few more days of it, so enjoy. All right. Thank you for joining us.
Don't forget your...